It's Maddie.
It's Allie.
And it's Kiki, and MAK is back.
So we are in the car driving, and we are going to do a story time.
Maddie, what is our story time about?
It's so bad. It's about probably the worst Tinder date I've ever been on.
And how
Our
we
date, period.
talked it.
The whole time.
All right, Maddie, give us a little background. Give our character a name.
So it was this guy named Kobe, and we had been texting probably like a week, 2 weeks. We had called and talked over the phone before I finally agreed, because people are a little crazy. So I wanted to talk to him a little bit before I agreed to go out on a date with this guy. So we set up a date. We set up what we're gonna do. We're gonna get dinner and a movie. Basic first date things to do. Well, because it was a Tinder date, these two and me all had a discussion, and we decided that they would sneakily come on the date with us.
We were going to plan on going anyway, but if there was a 911 text, we were going to be there immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't want to have to wait in case it was he was a serial killer.
We were being safe.
Mind you, also at that time, we play a game called the TINDER game.
We did.
We don't anymore because we got banned.
I still play.
That's another story time in itself. But basically, the Tinder game is you and your friends sit with the phone and see how many matches you get that are the same. Which is not fun, but it is kind of.
It's like Tinder roulette. And then we would sometimes swap the phones and each other swipe on our profiles.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I matched with this guy. We talked for 2 weeks. And this was last year. Okay.
Yeah.
And we set it up, and don't ever let a guy pick you up from your house on the first date. Take your own car.
That is mom tip number 1, even though we don't have kids.
But so I'm okay, well our meeting wasn't until 9 o'clock. It was real late. And I was okay, well let's do dinner at 7, 8 o'clock, so we don't, have to wait a long time before going to dinner to the movie. And he's okay. So I'm at their house getting ready. They did my hair and makeup. Looked all cute. I had a cute little sweater, tank top, high-waisted jeans, and wedges on. Real cute first date outfit. But I get a text at 5 o'clock that he's on the way to my house. And I'm we said 7 or 8 for dinner.
Mind you, at this point we were panicking because we got her ready first,
and we had to get ready.
We weren't ready, and we had to equally look like we were gonna blend in, and not we weren't dressing up like guys. We were gonna dress up like hot girls that were sneaking into their friends'
And we
date.
took her little brother with us. Let's name your little brother Max for this video.
Okay. So Max came with us. Well, came with them. But I'm I have to go back to my house. So I'm at my house when he gets there. And I'm already a little pissed off that it's 5 o'clock and he's telling me he's on his way when we agreed. Because I was well, I'm not home. I won't be home.
That internal panic was everything.
Right.
I don't think I've ever gotten ready so quick in my life.
Because I wasn't planning to go back to my house till they were ready, so that way they could come down, swoop.
So that way our time would be matched up, roughly.
But didn't happen. So I get back. I get to my house maybe 3 minutes before he gets there. I barely get on the front door before he's oh, I'm here. And first off, he doesn't come up to the door. He doesn't get out of his truck. And I'm not saying you have to open my door, but
you should.
Get out of the truck and common sense would dictate you come to the front door. But okay.
Right.
So I already rocky start, but I was you know what? Maybe he's nervous. It's fine. And I get in the truck and I text the girls. I'm okay, we're leaving. This is where we're going to eat and all this. And they're okay, we'll get Max and then we'll meet you at the restaurant. So me and Kobe are talking, and I look all cute, and he's wearing jeans
texting her the entire time. Freaking out. I'm like bum rushing it to go get her brother, and we are like time stamping. Like, I'm having Kiki text her, time stamping. Where are you at? Where's your location? How far are you? Okay, when are you going to get in this place? So I can match up to see if I can like get there in time without getting pulled over. You know
Also, always share your location with your friends if you're going out on a first date, especially if it's off of something like Tinder. But they had my location, but we were texting back and forth, being like, this is where it's, you know. But yeah, so he's like, yeah, my mom bought me this shirt. And I'm like, okay, weird flex. But okay, like, I expected you to at least wear a button down, you know, put some effort into this. None. And we finally get to the restaurant, and the whole way there, he's like, oh, you know, my friend's a bartender, and all this and that, so, you know, we can get drinks and everything. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
Well, his friend was not working, so we get seated, and I'm texting the girls, like, where we sat, like, all this and that.
Okay, real quick. Maddie texted us saying it's not going well. He told me his mom bought his shirt, and it was already not going great.
We get to the restaurant, and we like tell the staff there like what we're doing, and so the guy that was working, the girls were like interested in it, but the guy that was working like pulled the one for the team. He went and looked for Maddie, found her, and asked if we wanted to sit directly beside them or across from them. So we guys, I'll insert a picture, and we literally sat right across from them.
So I could see them.
Yeah,
Yes.
she could see us, but I told him,
She
I was
could
like,
see us,
please,
but he couldn't see.
I was like, please do not put us right beside, because there's no way in hell we would not laugh the entire time, because God knows, like, this guy is like clueless. He has no freaking idea.
And I don't know how.
And we would laugh so hard if we were beside. So luckily he put us across, and we're eavesdropping the entire time. Maddie can look at us, and we're like peeking over,
We're like, we're
what's
gonna
going
get
on?
fettuccine.
And I'm like, I can't really see this dude's face, but I can see the back of him. So I'm like analyzing everything, and I'm like,
Okay. And the waitress that we had, because we had the same waitress, and this restaurant pulled through because
She
they
was
were
amazing.
so invested.
She was so great. We gave her a good tip.
But so she comes, she takes her order, and this dude is not talking to me at all.
Tell
He's
them
on
what
his phone.
he had you guys order though.
We ordered appetizers.
That's it. And who paid for it?
His mom. His mom bought him a gift card, which, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's nothing wrong. But
she
maybe
bought
don't
it,
tell me.
She bought it specifically for the date, though. So, like, I don't know. But, like, if you're working, can't you pay for it? Like, flex a little bit?
Well, so I get this appetizer, okay, and I'm eating it, and I'm trying to eat a little bit slower because we're so early and we have so much time in between.
And we had just got there.
And he looks up at me, hasn't talked to me besides maybe 5 words, and goes, "Are you done eating?" And I'm like,
And mind you, we had just sat down and we got the menus, we got our drinks, and her brother Max is like, I was trying to create conversation because it was so dead quiet.
We were trying to listen.
And we were trying to listen. And I was like, so, like, trying to make small talk. What does everybody want to eat? Like, what are we going to get? And I'm like trying to look and see what they got. And her brother Max was like, oh, I'm going to get a sampler and blah, blah, blah. Like, he's so hyped for the food.
And then Maddie's ass texts us and says, just get an appetizer.
Because they were leaving.
I was
Well,
like,
I was like, we haven't even ate. Like, we're fucking starving. Like, shit.
She did make it up to us. She did.
You
talk
did.
to us.
You did.
the waitress was talking to them and was like, he hasn't talked to her the entire date.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta give them time to eat at least something before we go to the movies. So I'm like, well, let's go to the store and I'll like browse for a little bit. And this man was like, you would have thought we were conjuring trends. That's how close he walked me the entire time. He wants me to hold his hand. He's like 6 foot. I'm barely 5'3", and he won't drop his shoulder down, so my shoulder's up because it's like, okay, I have to crank my shoulder up or else we're not gonna be able to hold hands.
Right.
But like, he's all over me in the store, and I'm like, bro, like, chill out, we're in public, like, we're not like that. Like, This is our first date. So I'm texting them. And I'm like, okay, we're going over to the mall where the movie theater is at. We're gonna look around for a little bit.
And so listen, we buy our tickets, okay? And then we
At
went
dinner.
to TJ.
We bought 'em
we
already
bought 'em
at
at dinner. We went to TJ Maxx for like 2 seconds, and then we went to the movie. We were in the movie theater. We watched the entire end of the movie.
Real quick. I'm gonna backtrack us. What movie was that? Because it
Bodies.
had,
Oh
it
my
was
God.
Bodies. It has Pete Davidson.
It was alright. It wasn't bad.
I didn't want to see it. I wanted to see Bullet Train, and he
But
would
he
not.
was adamant. So like we bought the tickets during dinner.
So
and
And
they
they tried to
he wanted to switch it. He wanted to switch the movie. We're like, shit. We already bought tickets. How are we gonna get into this fucking place?
Hold on. Okay, so we're at the mall, and I don't know that they're there yet. And we walk into this one's sporting store, okay? And our mall closes super early. Like, all the stores close at, like 6. And I was like, okay, well, they close the gate on that side. We have to go out and go around. It is pouring rain, okay? Now, keep in mind, I'm in wedges, skinny, high-waisted jeans, a cropped tank top, and cropped sweater. My hair and makeup is all done. So I'm not running at all. Well, we go out the door, and he takes off. He leaves me.
He was
I walk around the
fast as
corner
fuck.
by myself, drenched. And you can tell by the look on my face, I'm so done.
But we didn't hear anything either for a minute. So we were like, okay. At that point, we were at TJ Maxx because they said they were going to a store. So we were like, cool, we got a little bit of clearance time. Like,
And then we ended up at that.
then she said SOS, and I said, okay.
So we went to TJ Maxx for a little bit, and then we went and watched like the entire last half of the movie, and they weren't there yet. And we're like, what's going on? Well, it's not even time for the movie. So we go out of there because we were going to go to the store. Well, we see them coming towards us. So me, Allie, and Max all fit in the photo booth together.
Well, Max almost gave them all away because they were looking for us.
He was like, oh, look, there's Maddie.
Maddie and her
And
date.
then falls out of the photo booth that we all shoved in. And I had to grab him and yank him back in the photo booth. And we were laughing so hard. I don't know how you guys didn't hear us.
And
Okay.
then going into the movie, they go in and then we go in, and Allie like actually bumps into Maddie, and she's like, excuse me.
Okay, let me backtrack a little bit. Okay, so that was what they were doing. But like, the security guard agrees to walk us through the mall because it's pouring down rain, so we don't have to walk all the way around. This dude tries to make out with me in front of the security guard, and I have to like shove him off and be like, no. And then as we're walking through the mall, him and the security guard are like buddies, and I feel like I'm third wheeling them because none of them are talking to me. They're talking to each other. And you can just see the look on my face that I'm so done. And when I see them and they see me, like, they just know.
We were like, fuck.
And we get to the movies. And I don't care about splitting costs on a first date. That's not an issue to me. But don't make it seem like you're buying and then be like, oh, are you paying for the tickets? Like, if we would have talked about that before, I would have been like, oh yeah, I'll pay for like the second half, whatever. But we get in there, and they had told the movie theater people what was going on.
Yeah.
So everybody now knows and can see the look on my face. My hair's all messed up. My makeup's running. I'm freezing cold. Like, I'm shivering. My teeth are chattering because I was just out in the rain. And I don't have any, like, super thick clothes on because I was in a tank top and a cropped sweater. And we're sitting outside of the movie theater waiting for the movie to start.
I'm sorry, the story is so fucked up.
And I texted either Kiki or Allie, and I was like, meet me in the bathroom.
Well,
I'm
we
like,
were all outside of the movie theater together. It was like me, Max, and Allie over here, and then Maddie and her date were like on the other side. Like, there's like 2 doors, and then there's like the other side of it. They're like right there. Like, we can see each other, right?
But Max is a little ditzy sometimes and was like, where is Maddie and her date?
And I was like,
shut up! I had to put my hand over his mouth. I was like, shut up.
So Maddie texted me and she's like, let's go to the bathroom. And I was like, bet. So I start walking to the bathroom and then she follows me. No, you went and then I followed you,
yeah.
right?
Because I walked and I waited till I got over there to text you.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't look weird. And we're in the bathroom and I'm telling Kiki everything. I'm like, it is so bad. Like,
She was pissed.
it's awful. Like, I'm so upset. Like, this has been like the first date that I've really ever been on. None of my other boyfriends took me out on a date. So I was really excited. Like, I put a lot of effort into this. And this is how it's going. So I'm like, okay, let's just get through the movie. Well, we get in there, and immediately, like, he can tell I'm cold, and he's like, you want my t-shirt? And I'm like, what is your t-shirt gonna do? It's not a long sleeve. And what, you're gonna be half naked in the movie theater? Well, then he's like, let's cuddle. And I'm like, I'm so cold. Like, I don't care at this point. I know there's not gonna be another date. And I'm like, whatever. We cuddle. And this man will not, like, take his hand out of my top. And I'm like, we're in the movie theater. Do you need, like, a stress ball or something? Because my boob's not a stress ball.
Like, are you 12? Like,
So, side note, we bought seats, like, directly behind them.
They did.
And, like, the way this man, okay, so he had popcorn. He wanted the big box of popcorn, so he got the big box of popcorn. We're sitting in the back eating Olive Garden breadsticks.
oh my God, yeah, we were.
The waitress wrapped for us because we didn't get to eat, and he's picking his popcorn like this. Disclaimer, I'm not judging, but like, why are you like this? Like crab hand? Like why is that a thing? And we were just laughing the whole time, and I don't know how this man did not know we were right there, but it was so obvious. Like we were so loud.
Okay. But, so we get through the movie, which was really bad. I only agreed to it because he wouldn't see Bullet Train and Pete Davidson was in it. And he died within, like, the first 5 minutes.
That's awful.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
not
was
a good
stupid.
movie. I'm sorry, Pete.
But, so we're leaving, and I'm like, I can't go home with this man. Like, I can't have him drop me off. I can't spend... Hold on.
We're not done yet.
So I walk, I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. I walk into the bathroom. And at this point, I'm like almost in tears. Because I'm like, this is... You know how you get real excited when you haven't been on a date in a minute, and you're like, oh, I'm so excited, and it's just awful. So I'm like, I'm trying not to cry, and I call them, and I'm like, I need you to come up with an emergency now, like somebody died.
It's so good.
Somebody, like, you're killing somebody, like somebody died. Okay, get me out of here, and I'll let Kiki, because this is her time to shine.
So we park, it's like the movies is on this side. We park over by like the trampoline park area. And I like parked, and I put Allie and Max in the back. And so I call Maddie, and I'm like, Maddie, it's my boyfriend's birthday. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, and he told me he was out of town, and he was going to be back in the morning, and I went over to decorate for him, and I went over there, and he was cheating on me, and I just need you right now. Like, I need you right now.
So I'm hamming it up to this dude. I'm like, I'm gonna go to, like, I was like, I'm gonna go to jail because I'm like, I'm gonna have to beat this dude up, you know, fake situation, but he doesn't know that.
Right.
And he's like, no, don't go to jail. He's like, do you want me to come with you? And I was like, no, she's gonna come pick me up. I'm gonna go over to her house tonight. She lives like an hour from me. I don't want you to have to drive all the way out there to drop me off. And the reason I didn't just leave when he left me in the rain is I had bought stuff at the store we went to, and I needed that out of his truck. So we pull over, and I like get out of the car to act like I'm talking to her to figure out like how serious this is. And I lean into Kiki, and I'm like, get me the fuck out of here.
And they were laughing though. That's the thing. Okay, so me and Max were shoved in the back seat on the ground.
They're on the floor.
And I put a hoodie on to like cover my hair.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had hoodies covered over us. How we laid flat in the backseat, I will never know, but we did it. And they were cackle laughing, and I had to hit the seat. I was like, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You're going to be obvious. And this man's vehicle is, like, right there, so I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know why or how he did not pick up on these cues.
Okay, well, I'm like, Kiki starts sobbing. So she starts, like, fake sobbing, and I go back over to him, and I'm like, I have to go home with her. She's really upset. It was like, they've been dating for, like, 2 years, like, you know.
Single as fuck.
And he was like, oh, okay, you know, let me know when you make it home and if everything's okay. And he leans over and kisses me, and I was like, okay, like, this is not going anywhere. We're already done. Let me preface, and real quick intermission, this man would call me at like 6 in the morning and then hang up on me to talk to his mom. Would wake me up, call me, talk to me for maybe 30 minutes, and then hang up and talk to his mom.
Which is fine.
It's fine.
But
I
like,
couldn't go, mama's boy, I'm sorry.
It
call me.
my mama said, it was like the water boy on fucking repeat. I was like, God damn, you gotta chill out, bro. Like, he was full
Stop
on.
bringing your mom up on a date.
Well,
Stop. Like, it's so...
I felt like I was on a date with him and his mom because I knew more about his mom than I knew about him.
that was a problem.
But no, like, they drove the same way to work, and it's like, well, why would you not just call her then? Like, why are you gonna wake me up for maybe half an hour and then hang up on me to talk to your mom for the rest of your hour and a half drive to work?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
But anyways, so I get in the car with them, and Max and Allie are still laid down in the back seat, and they just pop up, and immediately I'm like, I just started crying because I was like, this was so awful. This is not how I wanted, like, basically my first date, because like I said, none of my boyfriends ever took me out on a date like that. It was always, we were just at each other's houses. And a date doesn't have to be spending money. We could go to the park, we could go hiking, any of that. I'm down for that, but it was never that. It was always like, let's just hang out at the house. So, you know, I'm real upset that this was like my first official date and this is how it went. I got groped and through the whole movie.
It's so not funny.
Stop.
I'm so sorry.
It's funny now.
It's funny now. At the time, I was really mad. I was, because I felt terrible.
Because I started sobbing, and then we had to pull out because he wasn't leaving. So we pulled out, and then we had to sneak around back to McDonald's so I could get some food because we didn't really get a chance to eat. And we got ice cream. And
we did get ice cream. Ice cream makes everything a little better.
And then we got back to my house, and my brother, his girlfriend, and my other brother.
Oh, they were all just sitting there.
I have two brothers. They're all in the living room, and they're all like, how did the date go?
We were all
like, don't talk about it.
Well, then we had a massive story time, and they're laughing so hard, and my phone is just blowing up, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why is my phone going off like that? He's texting me how he had such a great time, how he can't wait to go back out again, and then my Instagram starts blowing up, and I realize it's because this dude has went through, and like, all of my posts, some were like 3 or 4 months old, like not all of them, but like a decent amount, that it was weird, and I was like, oh, this, like, no. So I sent him a message on Snapchat, and I was just like, you're coming on a little too strong, I'm not a fan of it, like, it's kind of creeping me out, and I went, like, please don't talk to me, or contact me, and then I blocked him on everything, so he couldn't.
I don't like this. Right.
And I do feel bad about that. I should have just been straight up, and I should have sent him a message, but at the time, I was so upset.
It was just too much.
And it was just, like, it was weird.
Well, disclaimer, Maddie also posts, like, pretty regularly, like, I would say, like, a couple times a week, so her posts, like, being a couple months old doesn't seem like that bad for me, because I only have, like, 4 or 5 posts on my Instagram, but, like, Maddie has a lot more than I do.
I've taken a break from Instagram for a minute, but I'm pretty consistent about posting at least once or twice a week, or every 2 weeks, so it was just a lot, but yeah, and I mean, looking back on it, I definitely would have changed a lot. I would have driven myself, and I probably would have just told him this isn't gonna work out. We're not gonna go to the movies after dinner.
Right.
Why did I do that?
And I don't even know if he tipped the waitress, which that's a big thing for me. Like, if you don't tip, or how you treat people when you go out to eat to get food is such a big tell of your personality. Like,
tip your waitresses.
Exactly.
And your service people. Tip them, please.
Also, I forget I don't know if he, like, I think he used to do dip or something like that. And that, I'm sorry, that's such a turn off for me when you have a spit bottle like that.
Oh.
It's so gross. But he wanted to stop talking about his parents, and I'm like, did you want to invite your parents on the date? Because I don't know anything about you, but I could tell you your mom and dad's birthday. I could tell them tell you what they like to eat. Or how about don't ignore me when we go out to dinner and play on your phone the whole time? Where the waitress feels bad for me and starts having a conversation with me because you're ignoring me.
And maybe he has, like, some stuff going on.
No, I don't
like,
care. He was a shitty ass man.
That was a shitty date. But, like, maybe he was, like, a little bit nervy. I don't know. It was all around not good.
If he was nervous, it's one thing to be nervous, because I was kind of nervous. But, like, I stayed off my phone. I tried to stay off my phone at dinner because I was like, okay, we're going to have a chance to talk. Like, and where we were driving there was different. But he just straight up texted on his phone the whole time. Probably to his mom. But it was just like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying don't go on those Tinder dates. I'm just saying, like,
be careful.
Be careful. Take appropriate steps. Don't let him pick you up from your house the first date. Like, let your friends know where you're going. Send them like a code word if you have to call and be like, hey, bananas. And they'll know. And they'll get you out of it.
Bananas.
Yeah.
B-A-N-A-S.
But that is the story of my very, very horrible date. And I just now got back on Tinder because, like I said, this was like a year and a half ago. So I just got back on Tinder, and I will probably be deleting it again soon.
Hopefully we'll have a reason to delete it again soon.
I'm okay. I'm like Miss Independent right now, and I've been independent for a couple years, and I am happy. I'm in like pure peace and bliss.
Okay. But we have a lot more story times coming your way, guys. If you guys think this is the tip of the iceberg, this is a crazy ass story, but we got so many more. And we'll be there to tell you some more.
We have a lot of stories.
All right. And we're out. I was off the way to do that again, Ernie. And we're out.